When I first came over to the U.S., obviously I switched to KTM, and then 1 year later, Ryan switched to KTM too. So he was always the big dog back then, and riding 450s. Now still in the 250 class, and he was always he was really serious about what he was doing, which is a good thing. There's all kinds of different characters out there, I should say, and personalities. Yeah, he was in the 450 class. I was in 250, so we were teammates, but not racing each other yet. And that in 2014 changed to where I came into the 450 class, racing for KTM, and we were teammates and racing in the same class and all. So there were some good battles going on, but it's always been fair, and we always had actually quite a few years of good racing together. He's a very serious guy when it comes to racing dirt bikes and his training and his I don't know if I should say perspective to the sport, but he's always been I would say I'm left and he's right. Like I said, he's serious, and I'm more the kind of guy that I still take my work and everything serious, but I'm a little bit more on the relaxed side and live life a little bit different, I should say, than him. But you got to admire him for being the way he is. He's always dedicated 100% and puts in a lot of work. Ryan and I had good battles actually in 2016. Midway or halfway through the season, towards the end, I started picking it up, and we actually had some good battles going on to where we were together in the start, first and second, and then we were racing each other for quite a few rounds, pretty hard, and we were battling. So I think the previous years we were always I'd say a little bit further apart. Maybe besides 2014 during the outdoor season, it was always me and him that were going for the championship, and it actually came really close. So we've had some good races, but then again, I only raced him for a few years, and then I had some injuries, and then he actually crashed last year during outdoor season, and he was out too. So there haven't really been that many years where we were racing each other, but we had some good races where we're battling, that's for sure. Ryan and I, we always respected each other, and we always raced fair, and we have also off the bike always been the same to each other, no matter what. When I was in 250s or when I switched to 450s, same thing. It's something cool because we were going for the championships a couple of times here and there, and nothing was ever awkward, even under the tent, since we were racing for the same team, and everything always stayed fair and square. With Ryan being so serious, so there was never, when we were at the practice track, he was always out there to strictly do his business, test and work, and that's it. Where I, on the other hand, I was doing a lot of play riding and jumping around and whatnot. So I don't think, and that is not in a bad way, but I don't think on that part we have a whole lot in common. So obviously also he was living in Florida, and at that time I was still living in California, and we just kind of had we had separate lives, and especially lifestyles, I should say, living in different spots. And when it came to practicing, we actually weren't together too much unless we were in California. When I moved to Florida, to Claremont, I bought a house, and then once I left Eldon, he moved there too, and he actually lived just a couple of houses down from me on the same street. So yeah, we were actually neighbors. It just, you kind of become used to it because he has a house, and it's not like he's moving anywhere soon, and so it was with me. And you see him driving by, and he always said hi and whatnot. So, but for being neighbors, I actually didn't see him too much. Our relationship over the last 6 months, again, has been the same as it's been the entire time over these years. So nothing has ever changed. He's still super nice, and I've actually, since I was injured, he was checking in with me, which is respectful. He was one of the only riders that actually consistently checked in. So we've actually been talking, and I told him that once he retired, that I'm gonna go and show him a good time for the first time in a while, probably.
Where are you gonna take him?
I told him I was gonna take him fishing and have some beers, and probably take him on the boat and get shit canned. I don't know if it's rumors or not, but I knew that there was a contract ready for him, and he hasn't signed yet. I for sure thought he was going to go through outdoors at least, but I understand the guy for just getting out because he's had a good career. He's had no big injuries, and he has plenty of titles, and topped it off with winning the last one. Why not? I know he's still young, but he's always been strictly business and strictly work, and I feel like it can definitely wear on you. Like I said, he's been getting mentally tired about the whole thing, and that's where I kind of try to be a little bit different and do other fun things in life that have nothing to do with dirt bikes. And then once I start riding again or jump on my bike, it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air, not so one-sided, I should say. Honestly, I don't really remember because the first 5 weeks of being in the hospital and on drugs, there was a lot of stuff going on, and I know that he was asking people that are close to me, like how I'm doing and whatnot, and then later on was texting me too, and like I said, the first 5 weeks after my crash were a bit of a blur, or a lot of a blur actually. But no matter what, battling and getting in each other's heads and whatnot, we've always been super cool with each other. And nothing has changed. So now that he's retired, he might have some more time on his hands and let loose a little bit. I'm injured, so I'm training, but I'm not really racing right now. So I'm at home, and I think he's spending some time in Florida too, so I'm sure we'll get together and hang out for a bit. Because we actually never really got to hang out and do something that has nothing to do with dirt bikes. And every time we were together, we were at the races or at the practice track or somewhere around moto people. I should say he's always Mr. Nice, and that's a good thing, but you will not get a little bit of attitude out of him about anything. So, but again, all these things are true. He's always a champion, has always been a good person.